Let's start.
All right, so we are gonna dissect this frog. We'll start looking at it as you'd find it in nature, right side up. This is what we call the dorsal side here. And this is the ventral side. We are gonna call this anterior and this posterior. So when I'm saying where things are in relationship to each other, anterior means the nose, posterior the tail, dorsal is its back, and ventral is its belly. When we open vertebrates, the easiest way to access the internal organs is almost always to open the ventral side of the animal first. So before we look at the internal organs though, let's look at the outside a little bit. You can see jaws, so we know it's a part of the group of vertebrates we call the nastosomes. And these are ears here. They're internal on mammals, but other vertebrates have ears on the outside of their head, so those are the eardrums. But we're going to look at the internal organs in this frog, which means we have to open the body cavity. And to do that, we're gonna go kind of slowly, open the skin and look at the muscles underneath first. So the way I open the frog is just in front of the pelvis here. Make one incision through the skin there. Another one at the sternum, the base of the rib cage. And then a single incision down the length of the body. And we can then separate that skin. Across that incision, and we may have to make it deeper on the sides, but now you can see the segmented abdominal muscles, and we're going to open through those as well, but we don't want to use the scalpel and cut into the organs. So I've got a nick through the abdominal wall here, and we will open the rest of the abdomen with scissors. And then open down the side of the abdominal cavity so that we can move the skin and muscle wall out of the way. Make another cut at the front of the abdomen, and then we'll make a third cut at the top of the rib cage to do the same. And then just separating muscles and connective tissues to expose the thoracic and abdominal cavities. And we'll use pins to hold those open. Might need to use a few pins. All right, now we have opened the body cavity and we can see the internal organs. And we'll start at the front of the body cavity here with this film right here, which is called the pericardium, surrounding the heart. And we will open that so that we can look at the heart. And when we can, we use scissors or a dissecting probe to separate membranes so that we don't cut the organs underneath them. But Under here is the heart. There's a ventricle, and in front of that, there are two atria, and collapsed on either side are the lungs with an air sac at the back. And then below that, there's a little remnant of muscle right here that forms the diaphragm, which is the muscle you breathe with, separating the abdominal cavity from the thoracic cavity, which contains the cardiopulmonary system. And then just up against that diaphragm, this next big dark organ is the liver. And if you look on the underside of the liver, there's a tube connecting it to the digestive tract here. That is the gallbladder. And that connects right here to the small intestine right after it leaves the stomach. So this is the stomach here. And then if we look on the other side of that connection, you can see another duct right here that connects also to the small intestine right there, that is connected to the pancreas, which in this frog is very small. Some frogs have a very large pancreas, but it is just that yellow tissue coming off of the tube right here. That is its pancreas. If we follow the digestive tract back, we have small intestines here that loop around and are convoluted back and forth through the abdomen here, connecting to the large intestine, or colon, which is this structure here. And then the digestive tract leaves through the pelvis and out the anus here. On either side, in the body cavity here, you have kidneys at the back, right here. And here. And I'm going to remove some of those organs. I'm not going to cut them, but I'm going to separate the membranes, holding them together so that we can move them out of the way and see a few of the other organs that are down in the abdominal cavity a little bit more easily. One more that we've exposed now is this dark red one here. That's a spleen. And we have also exposed the reproductive tract right here. This is a male frog. These are vas deferens and testes on either side here that connect down here into the pelvis to the urogenital opening. The other thing we'll do with this frog before we move on from it is extract the heart completely and carry out a resection of the heart so we can look at the chambers inside of it. So here is the frog's heart. This is the posterior end of the heart here, the anterior end here, and we are looking at the ventral surface, so the side that was facing the belly. We're going to very carefully, so small, my fingers cover the whole heart up here while I'm trying to open it. So frogs tend to hold on to some blood inside of the heart, which is what this dark discoloration is here. But there is a single very muscular ventricle, which is this light colored portion at the bottom, and a much thinner muscle wall on two chambers, which are filled with coagulated blood, unfortunately. But this empty bag on this side is one atrium, and there's a second atrium here. And if we rotate the frog over, you can see the two sides of the ventricle that we've cut in half here, and the pockets that form the atria here and here. So we will compare that to the hearts from a few other animals when we get to those.